everybody, and welcome back to another video here on Gamingtrend.com. My name is Adam, and today I am joined by Dylan, Mikhail, and Ben, all working on From the Ashes, the new Frontiers of Pandora expansion. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Doing good. Excited day.
So there's a lot of excitement around this expansion. We have third person that's coming in. We've got an entirely new playable character. We've got a lot of different aspects of the movie coming into the actual playing of the game, and it's going to be on the same day. How exciting was it for you guys to be able to participate in something where you're taking from the movie specifically and putting it directly into your expansion?
Want to start? I mean, I can I can go. For us, it's been great, right? I mean, we've been working together for a very long time, right? On the main game, on the two story packs that we had, and then now from the expansion. But because I think this expansion is like the closest tie-in that we ever had, we had to work very closely, like sharing models, concepts, and whatnot. So it was very fun, right? Like exploring the Monk clan and like how they collaborated with RDA as well. It was very cool for us to explore and add it to the game, right? So like when people go and see the movie and then they come back, they're like, oh, I want more of this, and it's like, hey, there's the whole expansion that you can play, right? And shoot the Ash people.
Yeah, because I mean, like we of course have to flesh out this whole culture for the films, but there's only a certain amount of screen time we have, and so as rich as we try and make this culture, only a little bit can show up on screen, and so getting to explore it in the game and really getting to live in and amongst it and see it allows the player to really get that richness and boldness of this crazy new culture.
I mean, it's been fun to have the game folks come to us and say, okay, we need to do this. And like, okay, part of that we've already done. We have answers for you on how to make that blend between human and Ash culture when they work together. But then it's like, okay, but now we need an Ash amp suit. And it's like, okay, well, we haven't thought of that problem. So how do we now, interface with the same design problem of how a technology, culture like the RDA interacts with the Ash people who have their own kind of like cargo cult, almost worship of technology and the use of metal and all these things that AWA tells you not to do. What happens when these cultures combine, right? And so we have to come up with new rules. And now that we've done it, we're always excited when we come up with something for the game that we think we want to put in the films.
Yeah.
And there's tons of stuff in terms of like Ashified amps and Ashified this and that. And we're like, all right, I kind of like it now. It's pretty cool. I think we need to show it to Jim and get it in the movie.
Absolutely.
So
And
speaking of that, it's an awesome opportunity where in the base game you had Na'vi versus the RDA, and you could kind of separate the two when it came to an artwork perspective. You had people that probably worked on Na'vi and people that probably worked on RDA. And now with RDA and Ash being combined, you're having to kind of combine everything at once while also adding more with new playable characters, with adding the ability to have the original playable character be a side character. What were the challenges that you guys had of having to now combine everything plus add more to the original Na'vi?
I was gonna say, I think it started back on designing the films because Ben and I, I'm in charge of Pandora stuff. He's in charge of all the Human Earth stuff, and so normally we're very different camps. But it started when we came up, or not, when Jim came up with that idea to put in the films. It was a really wonderful opportunity for us to work together and to figure out how the Ash would take human weapons and modify it to make it their own. And so, we had started, and gone far down that path, but then, getting to pursue it and really allowing, the player to explore all that themselves. And we just kind of did the start, and then you guys just ran with it.
Yeah. I mean, one of the biggest challenges, believe it or not, is there's different ways to apply the colors gray, black, and red to a body, to an amp suit, to whatever, right? Yeah. There's very different ways, and each of them comes with its own kind of cultural like read. So there was stuff that was done for the RDA early on where it was like using some of the crisp lines that we do see on the Ash characters. I mean, Varong has very crisp makeup lines on her. Unfortunately, you take that, which works on a character, and then you stick it on a vehicle, and now suddenly it looks too much like, it's vehicle graphics, right? The clean lines were killing us, right? So we had to look into the broader palette of, you did awesome stuff with the Ashified guns for the film. It just has to be simpler. It has to be rougher. It has to show that like the use of hands to rub the pigment on and all that stuff. Once you do that, suddenly, oh great, it all works. But we had to have that discovery process.
Yeah, it's just fewer gestures, right? You just want it to be as simple and bold as possible, where you see the handprint smear, you see the giant brush, And anytime you start designing it, it's like, nope.
Yeah.
It's like 3 strokes, bam, 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 done.
Totally.
Yeah, I think for us, from gameplay wise, because this is the first time when in the game we can see Navi versus Navi combat, right? Because you actually fight the Ash and Monk One as bosses, like and mini bosses in our game, right? So like designing the spaces where they can jump around, right, and navigate through those spaces was very big challenge for us and was super fun and something that we've never done before. And also we have a lot of different boss fights, right? For example, we have Rak, who is like an aerial boss fight. You fight her whilst you are on the ecran and she's on the ecran, right? And you go through those different phases of the fight with her. So this was very interesting challenge for us to design, like how this will be as a player experience, because we've never done this before.
Yeah, and also just thematically, like the films, it just makes it much more complex and rich instead of Navi good, humans bad.
Yeah.
You know, there are, you know, now there's bad Navi, there's good humans,
Yeah.
and it just becomes much more of a complex, realistic, frankly, you know, like life exists in the grays, right? And so it just feels a lot more rich.
I was just going to add to what Mikhail had said. One of the fun things that we get to participate in and plan for and witness is the performance capture process on the movies. And when we're doing crazy stunts, the people that they bring in, that our stunt coordinator brings in, include parkour, like the world's top parkour people, right? And the world top at different sorts of athletic things. And so when the way the Navi move is based on kind of like the most extreme version of what a person, an acrobatic, athletic human can possibly do. And so I think what you just mentioned, especially with the third-person perspective, to see your character doing these, balletically perfect kind of, amazing parkour kind of moves as part of the play, really plays into, I think, the kind of Navi action you see in the films.
Well, that leads directly into my next question, which is, with this expansion, you are giving us an entirely new aspect of playing as a Navi, with Solek being the main character, with providing a third-person aspect. I know that for a lot of fans, the exploration of Pandora is one of the, pieces of heart that this game includes. Is this a full separate story where it does not interfere with the original, or will the original have a lot of that Ash be included into it, destroying some of the nature of the base game?
No, because the story of the expansion actually takes after the main game. So we have this, and then we also understand that maybe some people just want to play the expansion, right? So we didn't tie this into the playing the main game. So once you have the expansion, we have a story selection screen. So you can select, oh, I want to play the main game and the 2 story packs, or I want to play from the Ashes, and you select it, and then you just play it on, how the story unveils in each of those instances. And then if you want to jump back and forth, like, oh, okay, I'm bored with the main game, I want to go from the Ashes, you can do this. And we also, in From the Ashes, for the people who haven't played the main game, we added like a short kind of like previously on video, which explains the story of the main game, right? So far it's like a 4-minute video, which it's narrated, with images and cinematics from the main game. So if someone wants to dive directly in From the Ashes, they can do it, right?
That's phenomenal. And something that you guys mentioned earlier in the day, and seems to be a very important aspect, is the inclusion of everything outside of the movies is canon. So you have the movies, you've got the video game, you have the comic books, you have the toys, you have all of the little nitty-gritty individual things. What does that allow you to do, and what challenges may that include if you are having to deal with, well, there's a canonical character in the comic books that is now a major character in the video game, but also there are animals and robots that you're dealing with from the comic books that are now in the video game, that are now in the movies?
I mean, for us, it's very fun, right? Because like I think the part that our game is canonical with the whole Avatar franchise makes us to go very deep, right, into the research, into the design, and I think what Dylan just mentioned previously, that like when we send the designs to these guys, right, to review, they're like not reviewing this as like, oh, it's a like spin-off game or something. No, like we're reviewing it as part of the whole Avatar universe, right? And we're really pushing the boundaries on also what we can do in the game, like from tech-wise and whatnot. We're like really trying to make sure that everything we design and we put in the game can, well, maybe someday end up in the movie, for example, right?
I mean, I have literally taken screenshots from the game and shown it to our visual effects people that work at like Weta and ILM to say, hey, you know what? That looks kind of good. Look at that. Make it look kind of like that. Like that's not even. I'm not making that up. I literally have done that. So yeah, I mean, I think we look at it less as a problem of trying to like solve a puzzle, and more like a great opportunity, right? You know, we put so much thought into these worlds, and like so much more than can fit into a movie, can fit into the frame, or even fit into a game where you can explore such an area. You know, so that we're always looking for chances to cross all that thinking and all that effort and all that kind of backstory that makes the world feel bigger than what you're experiencing at any given time. These different media are just a great chance to use all that work. So we love it.
Yeah, and you know, we always view Pandora as an analog for Earth, and like Earth, it is just as diverse as Earth, and it's large. I mean, it's a moon, but it's pretty much about the size of Earth, just a little small, I think, right?
A little bit.
And then, but it's just as diverse, and so like a lot can happen. And so if you really want to go or see somewhere new, just go to a different part. Like that's also one of the reasons why our story takes place on a very different part of Pandora, so that you have the freedom to explore. And so, you know, there are endless opportunities to design new places and have endless stories.
Phenomenal. And one last question for you guys. With the game coming out the same day as the movie, I know that there will be some people who will want to play the game before they see the movie. Do you recommend people see the movie first, see the movie after, or does it matter?
Movie first.
Movie
Yeah,
first. I
movie
think.
first for sure.
There you go.
For sure.
And then what would be something that you're most excited about for this expansion?
I think just it's two. It's the Ash people and it's the Wind Traders. So it's the clans, and I love the Wind Traders got in the game. They're probably my favorite new thing in the films, and they're just a wondrous and inspiring culture that's visually very exciting.
I like the darker tone of the expansion. I mean, I feel like it feels very cinematic, like the lighting and the atmospherics and just the overall like color register feels like it's pulled down a little bit. It's a little. It's like I feel like I'm watching a World War I movie sometimes. The amount of mud and the amount of rain and stuff, and I think that combined with the third-person perspective, actually, like you see your character stepping on sharp things in the mud or whatever, and you literally your brain kind of registers that. So to me, what I'm excited about is the sort of that immersive, nasty quality. I mean, look, as the guy that designs all the death machines, I have to sort of like revel in the negativity. So I guess I like that part.
Yeah, for me, definitely it's the third person, right? Just experiencing Pandora in third person, like it kind of almost. Because I played the main game like so many, I probably finished it like 20 times, right? Working on it, and now like I play it in the third person again, and I'm like, oh my god, that's completely new experience, right? Like, seeing your character, seeing how the scale is, right? I think one good example is like in first person when you're in the RDA facility, you see a door and you're like, oh, it's a door, right? But then you go to third person, right? Because in the game you can actually switch on the go with the press of the button. You like just jump out and it's like, oh my god, I'm this big Navi in this like small RDA corridor and can really feel the scale, right? So like, I'm very, very excited to see how the players will experience this world that we've built together, right, in third person.
I mean, I've been hearing from people that they really like it in terms of just understanding the spatial interaction, like what your character can do and jumping on and stuff.
Accuracy,
It's a different perception of space that apparently is better for the kind of acrobatic stuff that you're going to want to do with Solar.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for your time. So excited for the new expansion, and we appreciate you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.